There a send that him attack truth and know. Teach for reparation for your fit grow. Rasta from Chicago, him light the way. Up with yourself, stay positive every day. For us said that we hear man the scream. Talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the streets when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah. Pharaoh said that they hear on the screen. Talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the streets when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah.
I have been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. Pulling finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. I have been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. Pulling finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. Your locks out like Shaq, I box out. Any snakes in the can trying to pop out. Don't drop out or cop out, get a drop now. Locks blowing in the wind with the top down. I'm fly, dude, you can't do what I do. Flossy and flashy with the heart of a Sadu. Living God true with hair like wool. Past the Charlie Tool and cool and make me get a pull. Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. Pulling finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. Pulling finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor.
Yeah, Doghouse Rasta, Where my Rasta at? Where the dogs at? It's rough out on the streets of the shop. You better watch your back, boy, you're bound to die. Spitting out the sky, it gon' fall in on your eye. Black people, you can make it if you try. You caught slipping, then you're gon' get killed. Tell you these niggas in the shy is ill. They don't call it ill, stay here for nothing. These niggas out here don't be huffing and bluffing. Naya Bingy mean death to oppressor. I got a Tech 9 and the Glock on the dresser. It's funny to me cause I oppress oppressor. If you's a weak card, boy, me I'll test ya. What you know about the Thug House roster? I'm not a slave cause I'm about to be the master. Folk on a hustler, nigga you's a buster. Come get this shit cause I know you as a customer.
Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. Pulling finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. Pulling finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor.
All right, positive energy all the time. Here we go. We're going to talk about some more music. We're going to talk about Black conscious music. Come on in, Rep Your City. Everybody on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am representing Chicago, Illinois. We got Miami-Dade County in the building. We got Fresno in the building. Rep Your City, come on in. We are talking about Black conscious music. A lot of times I hear a lot of complaints. We have San Jose in the building. I hear a lot of complaints about people complaining about the music, which anytime you're complaining that you want to hear conscious music, but you're not posting any conscious music, maybe you better look at yourself, because how you want to hear something that you're not promoting. Like 98% of the Black people on social media that complain about drill music don't post any other kind of music. The only time they're posting music is if they're dancing and clowning around They don't post any music that's opposite to drill. They post sex songs, and that's cool. They post a bunch of songs with men talking about how much they love a woman, which they don't really be songs coming from a real conscious point because they don't be married. A lot of the R&B songs are talking about cheating, are talking about disrupting the family. And so you have these people constantly criticizing the rap music, but the R&B music talks about dysfunctional family, talk about cheating on your husband, cheating on your wife. That's a fact. How is that positive? I don't know. How is that positive? If you listen to the R&B slow songs, they do not be positive. They be talking about anybody sleeping with anybody. Love the one you with. That's what they be talking about. Not to mention a number of men that's singing love songs that like men. Why y'all don't talk about that? You got men singing love songs that secretly they singing to men. They don't say woman, they say baby. You got men singing songs, any love. Wait a minute, bro. Any love. Okay. Well, we're going to get into it. You can't make this stuff up. But I get a lot of the brothers, they'll come over here, man, why you promoting that drill music? I'm like, well, what's your new song? Who you promoting? Why you don't ever come over here? Who you promoting? Who's the positive? Because positive music is nowhere. Conscious rap is nowhere. You don't see the brothers promote no conscious rap. I see some brothers, they try to release some positive songs. They don't get no reposts and hardly no likes. I ain't lying. I be tripping. And then, like some of these dudes, they think because they conscious, they can rap. Okay, you might be conscious. That don't mean you can rap. So they be trying to rap. Yeah, they say baby, and don't say lady. Baby, that's why they say that. They used to say baby. They used to say girl. They used to say, I love you, woman. I love you, girl. Then they start saying, baby. They start singing songs like, any love. They start saying sweetheart and baby. You start looking out there, you start seeing Freddie Jackson and Luther Vandross singing these songs that they say, singing these songs that they say we should be listening to instead of drill. I'll be tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'll be tripping. The R&B people, they let the kids take over their music. So what are they talking about? That they need music for relationships. When you let Little Bow Wow and Romeo and Another Bad Creation took over your music. 106 & Park took over your music. You don't even have no adult. You come to Chicago, that's why they listen to some oldies. All they could keep playing is oldies. They don't listen to no conscious music, so they listening to oldies and eating stuff, giving them high blood pressure, and they be listening to what they think is good music, and they be getting sick to the good music because the good music don't teach them nothing. So they sitting there eating hog maws and chitlins, talking about, "Now, that's that good music, though." It ain't that good. It ain't helping you eat better. It's a little crazy. Remember conscious music on BET? Remember how horrible a lot of them was? Remember when X Clan started putting all those solo acts out? They was horrible, wasn't it? Especially them girls. Remember those? I think they had like three ladies. Remember X Clan had like three ladies. Oh God. I bet you nobody know their name. I bet you none of you black conscious dudes that love black conscious music. Just name two of them. Name the two solo females from the X Clan. Because even the lead rapper for the X Clan, he was a little. He wasn't cool, you know? You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like, he could rap. What's his name? Brother Jay? But he wasn't really appealing. Or is it me? Was Brother Jay from the X Clan appealing? And then Brian Nubian. You know, I was already conscious. So I'm looking at Brian Nubian. I'm looking at Grand Pooba, and I'm saying, Pooba, you know, what? How is this positive? He needs to lose some weight. Am I lying? Did Brand Nubian look like positive black conscious? Lord Jamar did. Sadat X kind of did. Lynn Q and Isis. Yeah, they was horrible. I don't know why she named herself after Sin Q. Y'all know Sin Q is the Syrianese Liberation Army that kidnapped Patty Hearst. Don't even let me get into the revolutionaries. They was horrible. Them had to be the worst revolutionaries in revolutionary history. They was horrible. They tried, I guess. But they was horrible. Ooh, we don't want no more revolutionaries like them ones. That's why I be getting in trouble. I'm not supposed to say all this stuff. You know how like some of y'all be talking and y'all know how like the some of y'all younger people, y'all know how y'all be looking at the 30 and 40-year-olds and y'all don't be feeling them. That's how we was. We was young. That's how we was looking at the Black Panther now. Like there was the little bootleg. Cause we was younger than now. So we wasn't really feeling them like that. We was like, it don't look like you doing this right. And why all y'all keep getting out of lives? And how the revolutionaries keep getting shot. I thought y'all was the shooters. You know what I'm saying? I be getting in trouble. That's why I be getting in trouble. Just think about that. What's gonna make you be a revolutionary when the revolutionaries get shot? The revolutionaries supposed to be the shooters. And they all getting aired out. So my generation was like, we don't be no. This ain't funny, but it's the truth though. because I was born in 1958, right? So the 60s, I'm little. But when I seen all them get aired out, I didn't want to be no revolutionary. Not right away. Later, I wanted to be pro-black, but I didn't want to be a revolutionary. I just wanted to be pro-black. I didn't want to sign up for no casket. You know what? That's why I can't win. That's why my following be so little. Because the scumbuckets definitely don't like me, and the conscious ones hate me too. Nobody likes me, but that's okay. 'Cause I don't like y'all anyway. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. I'm telling you, don't nobody like me. They want me to shut up. They want me to like pick a side and go over there, and you're supposed to stay in that lane, and I keep lane hopping. I won't stay in my lane, and they don't like me like that. They say he's supposed to be standing up for reparation. He's supposed to be criticizing my meat that I eat. You know what I'm saying? I was with you on reparation till you start signifying on chicken and pork, and that's when I had to let you go because I love some hot chicken. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about the music. I'm telling you, that's why, I be doing too much. I be trying to clean up too much stuff, and you're supposed to just clean up one thing at a time. You know what I mean? Seriously. With black people, they just want you to clean this up, and then you appeal to people who want to clean this up. Or you're supposed to clean this up, and you're supposed to appeal to people to clean this up. But if you want to clean up black people altogether, you got to step on everybody's toes, and they don't like that. They want to be like bootleg positive, like kind of positive a little bit. They don't want to be positive for real. But we're going to talk about the music, conscious music, because I'm always asked about conscious music. And people will be wanting to know why I'm not promoting conscious music. There's really no conscious music to promote. The conscious artists are really not really good at music. They don't really have any music skills. They know the conscious stuff, but they don't know nothing about music. So they don't know how to make good records. They don't know anything about tempo. They don't come up with a plan for gatherings. Their gatherings are always really exceptionally weak. You really can't make no money at none of their functions because they really can't get a good crowd like that. But we're going to talk about it. Come on in, hit the like button, share, subscribe. We're going to get into it. The whole music situation. Why there isn't more positive music? Because basically people don't really want to hear positive music. They want to hear party music. And so when you see the shorties out with the drill music, they complain about the drill music and complain and pretend there is a opposite to drill music, which is not. Party music is not the opposite of drill music. If drill music is pushing violence, party music is not pushing peace, it's pushing gluttony, eat, drink, party, have sex. That's it. That's not positive, not really. If you're going to parties and meeting women, but you have no consciousness of being a husband or being a good wife or being a good mother, a good father, who told you that was positive? You just going to a hoedown, basically. So we're going to talk about it because there's no way to ever promote any positive music without a positive social movement. And the music doesn't create the movements. Music have never created any movements. Movements create the music. The music is always born out of the movement. The movement's never born out of the music. There was Rasta before there was reggae. That's a fact. Mortimer Planter and them, there wasn't no reggae. He wrote one of the first reggae songs. So I was there reggae when the Rasta wrote reggae. There was no reggae. They was up there just beating the drum. They had the drum, but there was no reggae music. Reggae came out of a movement. And so how are you going to get some type of positive music with no movement, no unity, no nothing? Which right now, in terms of positivity, is 100% impossible because so many of the brothers is religious nuts. And so they not joining with nobody that ain't in that religion. They ain't coming around nobody if it ain't about that religion. The only time they want to get together if it's about that religion. That's it, or whatever that ideology. As far as coming around people that's not in that ideology, they're not doing that. They'll talk about black people need to do this and black people knew that, but all they do is hang around each other. They don't even deal with black people. They don't. They don't. Remember what about 8 years ago? Remember RBG? What happened to it? It had no economical plan. It had no type of family functions. It just was some weirdo brothers, fake revolutionaries. No way that was going to go nowhere. They didn't have any type of entertainment. They didn't have anything that would help you gather. You can't grow if you don't gather. So you can't do nothing if you don't gather. That's why social media is failing us, because you could talk all day on here, but if you don't gather, it ain't going nowhere. And so black conscious music, back when I was young, the music that had like the feeling of trying to make change, all of that came out the civil rights movement first. The civil rights movement, they start making songs targeted to black people's pain, Like you got to move on up. Like your leaders tell you to. You got to keep on pushing. Songs like that. Because we're moving on up. Moving on up. Lord have mercy, we're moving on up. And black people listen to that during the day, give them inspiration while they doing their shopping, while they getting their groceries, and they in their cars, or they at home with their little transistor radios. We used to have the little radios. You put the little white thing in one ear, or you just sit it on the counter, or you buy the 45. And so they was playing records that when they sing, it was almost like church, although they wasn't gospel songs, but it was like a revolutionary, and not in terms of fighting, but revolution in terms of change. It was like music about change, about making change in your environment. But it was made a lot like the other R&B so that they could dance to it. They didn't make it weirdo like the black conscious community nowadays. They make songs that are anti-gathering. You know, the type of songs they make, it ain't gonna bring people together because it ain't bring people together music. It's just sit up and preach to somebody. Nobody gonna come and hang out and listen to that. And they got no leadership because they just be all different kind of stuff trying to hang together on consciousness, but they got a billion different belief systems and they all there. And they ain't picked nothing to promote specifically. You know? So they just mostly trying to sell you some magical drink or some crystals or something like that. They just became like bootleg salesmen. Every time you look up, they selling, you know? And it's not like they selling it like a business that just make products for everybody. It's like they sell targeted, they targeted you with their items. The items is for a specific group, you know? It's not like promotional items, you know, like items like reparation are promotional items. They're not, you don't have to be for reparations to buy a shirt to say reparations because you're promoting reparations. You're not promoting a group. But now everything is like group incentivized or trying to make a lot of times conscious scam artists, so many. So a lot of the so-called brothers that talk positive, you can't trust them further than you can see them. For real. So for me, as I started getting into my 20s and stuff, the positive music I leaned for was reggae. Reggae was the only positive music. Everything else was Rick James and weirdo stuff. Black folks wasn't making no inspirational music no more. And so the only positive music was reggae. None of these other groups, the Christians didn't have no positive music. The Moors didn't have no positive message. The Nation of Islam didn't have no positive. None of them had nothing really. They didn't have any type of message for the people like that. Not really. It would kind of be linked into somebody doing something, and you know, they'll try to link in. This is where Public Enemy struggled at because they had Professor Griff, but that ain't really what Chuck D was on, and Flavor Flav was on absolutely nothing. So it's really hard to put a message out with a clown like Flavor Flav up there, and you try to tell us to do what? You got a bozo, there's a bozo right there. Him and Griff couldn't stand Flav. And Griff was so heavy into his religion, he wasn't going to be able to help black people. But once you're in a religion, you can cancel out all the other people that's in the religion. You know what I'm saying? You basically canceling people out because they're going to cling to their religion and you're going to cling to yours. But you're talking black people, but you're not really black people. This one's a Christian, and this one's a Muslim, and this one's a Hebrew. That's not black. That's religious. So every time you turn around and say black people, when you're in one of these religious groups, it's like an oxymoron. Because the other blacks in the other religions, they're not comfortable around the other religion. Yeah, Gil Scott-Heron. I remember Gil Scott-Heron when I went to see Stevie Wonder when Bob Marley passed away. And Stevie Wonder put Gil Scott. And I remember going to the bathroom. He was a junkie. He came out the bathroom. Hey, brother. I was a Gil Scott-Heron supporter, right? Real talk. And I'm in the bathroom. Gil Scott performed. And I wanted to use the washroom right quick before Stevie went on. Because they put on the concert, Bob had passed away, right? About a week before that concert. So they had to cancel Bob and I go in the bathroom, he a junkie. Talking all that black stuff. Like a lot of these ones over here. Talking black stuff, you meet them in real life. Ain't got a pot to piss in or the window to throw it out of. Gil Scott was a two-bit drunk. You should have seen how skinny he was. He come out the bathroom start, hey, brother. And I've been listening to him since like my sophomore year. You know what I'm saying? I got all his albums. I'm young. Imagine that impression. You young, you looking up this dude, he talking all this winter in America and all this black stuff, and you go in the bathroom, he's a two-bit junkie. So that's why when these dudes be coming over here talking all this black stuff to me, if Gil Scott wasn't on nothing, it's an 85% you a bootleg fraudulent too. Hiding on the internet, never see your face, never got no reality, ain't got nothing we can really justify who you are. Talking crazy. Ain't gonna go outside and do nothing. As soon as the gang say boo, you gonna run. So how you gonna fix the neighborhood? You scared of the gangs. Why don't you know these black conscious dudes is scared of the gangs? They the biggest wusses in the world. I'm telling you. They ain't like that. They ain't never out. The people they say they want to help, they scared of them. Prove me wrong. Come to Chicago and let me take you out in the hood and see. Later for all this. I'm really about it. Come to the rack. Let me take you in the jungles and see if you're really a soldier. Let me see what you'll be able to talk to the brothers if you're able to talk to the brothers. Or they gonna tell you, man, I ain't trying to hear all that. And punk you. He wasn't nothing. Gil Scott-Heron was a disgrace to his race. He was a junkie. He wasn't nothing. Trash. Yeah, he was trash. He was a disgrace to his race. You know, don't talk about it, be about it. Stop talking to us, Gil, and go to rehab and shut up. So see, I was a baby then. I was little. See what I'm saying? I was like about 21. See what I'm saying? So I'm peeping you. See what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are like, why you like that? Yeah, I peeped that deer. I'm 68 now. What you think I am now? How you think if you was playing with me, talking to me out here now, how you think that go? Because like I'm telling you, black people, most of them talking that pro-black stuff, they ain't on nothing. Yeah, that was like 1979 because I moved to California, Hawaii, like 80, 80, 82. Yeah. He was nothing but a two-bit junkie. I got all these records. Hold on. Hold on. This is what I was listening to. Now I was listening to this like 1974, 75. I'm born in 58. I was 20 in 78, so I was listening to this as a teenager. Hold on. Revolution would not be televised. Okay, what year this came out? 1974, I bought this. I was a sophomore in high school. So if I'm listening to this when I'm a sophomore, what make you think I'm gonna listen to you? Seriously. (1976). This year I graduated. I love this one because he was smoking the. You know what I'm saying? It's very important for me to show this to the audience so they know who they talking to. So you need to know who you're talking to. And so imagine after listening to this and looking up to this man and going to a concert, Bob Marley had already passed away. So he replaced Stevie Wonder. He replaced Bob Marley and performed with Stevie Wonder. So imagine I'm running to the restroom in between the groups after Gil Scott. And imagine a dope fiend Gil Scott come out to style. And I'm a revolutionary already. So what was the revolutionary protocol supposed to be? If he was talking all that and he was a junkie and I'm an up-and-coming soldier revolutionary, what was the protocol? What was the protocol supposed to be? Yeah, I thought so. You know what the protocol was supposed to be. You know how that was supposed to go. I know you know. I'm extremely militant, and you've been doing all this yapping, all this pro-black stuff, and I get to meet you, and you come out to start talking. Yeah, brother, because you know it was on that age. I could not believe it. So now when I went back and listened to the music, I saw he been, now when I go listen to his music, he was out his mind when he was singing. He was always all draggy. Yeah, brothers and sisters. So now that guy say, oh man, I've been listening to a fiend. So now how many people did he convert? None. None. Zero. Zero. Because you're not standing on nothing. Just like all these people on social media and stuff like that, talking all that pro-black stuff, you ain't gonna never see them. You ain't gonna see them nowhere. They ain't gonna have no type of media. They ain't gonna have no type of pro-black commercials, no type of professionalism. They got no vision. They got no, nothing for vision. They got nothing verbal. Nothing. And so you trying to come up talking about pro-black, but then when you look at the Babylon system, they got commercials, they got TV, they got radio, they got stuff. Then you look on the black side, talking about they gonna be independent. They want to rise up. They ain't got a video. They don't know how to make nothing. They don't got no social media presence. Every time you see them, it's bootleg. Every time you see them, it's bootleg. When I get positive brothers to talk to me, they'll know when I get through, I go click on their stuff. I go find their social media. And guess what be over there? A zero with the rim knocked off. Nothing. I'm telling you, they don't be on nothing. I couldn't out pro-black you. He said, I couldn't out pro-black him when he was at, and his name 566FRDR5Y. And I'm pro-blacking him now. Look, just like, look. With a pink girl color. Look, that's what I'm talking about. So I couldn't out pro-black him when he was 15. And he still ain't nothing now. You still ain't nothing now. You 566FRDR5Y. The hell? The only contest you can have is a loser's contest. Who's the biggest loser? That's the only thing you'll win. You ain't no type of pro-black hiding and trolling on the internet. Who gonna follow you and you a troll with a pink circle? Who gonna follow you? And you a troll, don't have no professional internet presence, you bootleg. You're saying I couldn't outdo you and I'm outdoing you now. I'm outdoing you right now on social media. You're watching me. Anyway, come back tomorrow. I'll unblock you tomorrow. I'll go back and unblock you tomorrow. At least turn your circle to blue, okay? He said, I couldn't out pro-black him with a pink circle and a bootleg title. And I'm out pro-blacking him right now. You can't make, bro, I'm out pro-blacking you now. What is you talking about? Obviously, the 15-year-old you was better than the you today. You don't look like you can out pro-black the 15-year-old you. Boy, I tell you. That's it. Unbelievable. Can't even introduce himself. Hey, I'm 5RR. If I meet him in public, you gotta say, I'm 5RR XYJ4. The one with the pink circle, remember? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. He ain't nothing. He ain't coming outside. Boy, that boy never come in Chicago and step on the west side, south side, east side, or north side with me outside on the block in his motherfucking life. That man will never step outside with me. A real soldier, a real general. He'll never step outside with me. He just talking. It's on the internet. And he was pro-black, and that's why pro-black didn't go nowhere. Pro-black just was a pink circle. Pro-black is 566 FRDR5Y. You know why his name is 566 FRDR5Y? I'm going to teach y'all something. Because he a troll, he keep getting blocked. So he got to constantly get a new YouTube page. That's for the young people if you want to do YouTube. When you see somebody with that, when you see somebody with that, all that means he be trolling all over the internet, and they keep blocking it, and YouTube keep getting rid of his account, and then he just got to start getting any random. He just got to get any random YouTube page. He said I couldn't out pro-black him when he was 15, and he sabotaged. he 21. Unbelievable. He can't make this up. What do you want me to say, bro? I'm not finna argue I'm not finna argue with 566 FRD. I mean, I'm cool with it because there's social media and there's mental illness. So I'm cool, I don't hold that against him. I just have fun with him and diss him. You know what I'm saying? Trolling is a two-way street. But the difference with me, I trolled him right in his face. So I trolled him. You know what I'm saying? He said I can't out black him. I can out troll him. You know what I'm saying? You a little pink circle and you bootleg. And I got the button. Look, block. See, I beat you again. You know what I'm saying? I got the block button. Damn, dude. You know what I'm saying? Get the hell out of here. It's all right. It's fun, so don't y'all take that serious. It's a party. I've been on YouTube for many years. It's just fun. He's just a troll. He ain't gonna do nothing. He won't be around next year. He'd be somewhere kicking mad flavor in somebody else's ear. It's part of YouTube. And so when you start talking about black conscious music, I came through black conscious music through reggae. Reggae was black conscious music. Yeah, it just be fun. Even if you see me cuss them out and look like I'm mad, no, that's just a gang Chicago energy. And so in Chicago, that's just how we talk. So if you see me hollering at somebody going off, I don't really be mad. That's just how Chicago is. And when you come around us and we outside talking, it sounds like a fight. We got that from our parents. My daddies and them was like that. When my daddies and his brothers upstairs talking, it sound like a fight. They having the time of their life, but they sound mad though. Yeah. On YouTube, you can't be a content creator. But I've been over here before I knew what a content creator was. I'm a real OG on YouTube. I've been on YouTube. I wasn't monetizing or nothing. But I be teaching outside though. So I used to teach outside. We used to have them Chinese throwing stars and them nunchucks. Yeah, when I used to teach, we had nunchucks and Chinese throwing stars. We wasn't really nobody to really be. We used to have nunchucks. I'm not kidding. That's why we wear them big old coats like that. We would wear those big old coats when we would teach. Why y'all think we had them big old coats on? We was extremely aggressive when we was teaching. We was out there threatening gangs and stuff. We was making gangs stand down. All in Compton and Watson and all that. It wasn't like nice teaching when I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm not promoting vice. I'm just telling you, see, look at that right pocket. You see something pulling it down? What you think is in there? It's some kind of weapon. You see that the pocket on the side of my hand on the tree? See, it's something in that pocket. And then what we used to do is those army coats got those pockets in it. So we'd have our girlfriend reinforce it so the Chinese throwing stars would poke a hole in the pocket. Because you had like two Chinese throwing stars in each pocket, them big ones, right? But they'll poke a hole in the pocket so you have your girlfriend, take the coat inside out and double it on the outside so this stuff won't fall through. Reggae has made no difference in Jamaican economic and social subjugation by England. Reggae hasn't made no difference after the elders left off the scene. And so the reggae I'm talking about is before you was a baby. You probably wasn't born. How old are you? Yeah, you probably a baby. So the reggae, first off, when you say reggae in Jamaica, that's where you off at first because reggae was in England. Reggae was in Africa. Steel Pulse from England. Oswald is from England. And reggae was not designed to make a difference. So you talk about something you don't know nothing about. So reggae, black conscious music, was designed to make a difference. It was designed to wake up more people, which it absolutely did. Reggae woke up a whole lot of people. So the music is not designed to make a change. The music is designed to make awareness for more people to make the change. Okay? So if you're going to be super conscious, you need to go study. You need to go study because you don't seem to know too much. Every time I talk to you, you seem to be uninformed, unintelligent, combative, and you don't seem to be good for the black community because you are anti and you ain't pro nothing. And you got to fix your name too, that Ranius FZ2F4. You can't be bootleg, brother, and keep talking positive stuff and be bootleg. Go fix your page so it look like you're really standing on something. And your Africa and all of that is ugly. Like, go fix all that. Your stuff is ugly, bro. All your stuff is ugly. Nobody's going to listen to you. Look how you always trolling me. You don't got a life. Every time I unblock you, you come back. I block you every day, don't I? And like a good puppy, when I block you, come right back. I play you just like a fiddle, don't I? Don't you see I'm playing you like a fiddle? I block you and then I unblock you so you can come back and I block you again and you keep coming back. Now how you going to help black people when you ain't got no pride, you ain't got no backbone, and you keep running behind a man like me? Keep running behind me. Every time. I could block you again right now. You're going to come back like a little girl tomorrow. Talking all that black stuff. And you won't go away like a grown man. I block you every day and you come back like a little B word. You're like my little puppy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Come on back, boy. Come here, boy. Okay, enough, boy. Block. Come back tomorrow. And you come right back tomorrow. Watch. Come back tomorrow. I'm going to block him again. Watch him come back tomorrow. I block him every day. I've been playing with him like a puppet. I've been playing with this. I didn't block this dude about 20 times. And then I unblock him. He come back faithfully. I got him. He won't go away. You got no self-pride, no respect. How you gonna lead somebody to what? He got no pride, he got no dignity or nothing. Let me block him every day and he come right back. Unbelievable. These facts. I just blocked him again. Watch, you'll see him tomorrow. He'll be back. Make sure you get your ass back here tomorrow, boy, like I told you. Little boy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't lying. You'll do what? Jean-Luc Ponty album? Man, stop playing with me. I don't know if I got one. Jean-Luc Ponty. Let's see. Jean. Do I got Jean-Luc Ponty? Let's see. I got him on some other people's albums. I don't know if I got him solo. I got him on a bunch of albums, though. Let me see if I got him solo. I don't think I got. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong spot. He would be down here. I might got him. I don't know. I think I got him. I think I got him. I don't know. I don't remember. You know, I left and went to Hawaii, so I don't remember what I got. Jean-Luc Ponty. I got him on some albums like John McLaughlin and all that. I got his solo album. I don't think I got his solo. Yeah. Hold on. Jean-Luc Ponty. Oh no, let me see. Let me see. I don't know. I might. I don't know. Jean-Luc Ponty. I don't know what I would have him on. I tell you this. Send me my $50 though. Send me my $50 though. Yeah, send me my 50. Send me my $50. That's all. Because I don't think you thought you was playing. You playing with the real one. I think that say Jean-Luc Ponty. I think I could swear. Don't that say Jean-Luc Ponty? Oh, sure it does. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's the same thing gonna happen to one of these people when they play with me outside. I keep telling them I'm gonna do them dirty outside. They think I'm playing too, don't they? Oh wow. Yeah, right here. Bow. But I got him with every other people too. I got him up here with what? John McLaughlin. I think I got him with Billy Cobham. I think I got him with Stanley Clark. I think he's on Stanley Clark. Let me take a break. think I've seen him too. I think I've seen him with Chick Corea, and I think I've seen him with uh, Carlos Santana and John McLaughlin. I think I've seen him with Billy Cobham. He sent it. He kept it real. He sent it. You know what I'm saying? He a man of his word. You know what I'm saying? I got him on about 5 different projects with some other people. When I left Chicago, I just got my albums from my mother's house. They was in the basement. I don't know what I got. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it back later. I seen him live. Yeah, he sent it. It's all love. He sent it. Yeah, I've seen him live. I seen him with the Mahavishnu Orchestra, I think. I think he played with the Mahavishnu Orchestra. Let me see. We are talking music, so this won't hurt. Let me see. I seen him with Frank Zappa. I seen him with Frank Zappa. I seen him with John McLaughlin too, and the Mahavishnu Orchestra. I thought so. Yeah, he's on John McLaughlin stuff too. Here, he's on John McLaughlin albums. Hold on, we doing music. I guess it's don't hurt. Hold on, John. Where's John at? I think he on John's stuff. I think he's on John. How you spell McLaughlin? Shit. I think he's on John's stuff. Hold on. Okay. I think he's on John's stuff. Hold on. I think he's on John's stuff. Okay, hold on. No, he had Jerry Goodman. Jerry Goodman was on this one. Jerry Goodman was the violin player. What about on this one? He ain't on this one either. What about this one? No, Jerry Goodman. Jerry Goodman was the violinist with John. I forgot who Ponte played with. Hold on. He played with John. Well, I don't see him. I don't see him. He must be on Album on God. I don't see him. He must be on the album I don't have. I know I seen him with John though. Hold on. I don't know. I seen him with John, but I don't got him on the album with John. They say on Apocalypse. I got Apocalypse. Hold on. They say on here. Oh, he is. He's at the top. Yeah, he's on this one. He's at the top. Overlooked him. Yeah, he on this one. He's on this one too. He's on this one. He's on this one. He's probably on my Frank Zappa. What the album is like jazz fusion. You know what I'm saying? With Billy Cobham. It's like the extreme musicians, like the best at their art. It's like a scientific jazz, like orchestra jazz. Because John McLaughlin played the double, he plays the double guitar. He plays the double guitar. That's it right there. So he plays the double guitar. It's like it's some good listening music. It's like jazz fusion is what they call it. And you got Billy Cobham, you got Stanley Clarke, you got all these great black and white and Hispanic musicians, just like classical musicians, but they playing like a jazz fusion. It's off the chain, you know what I'm saying? I was going to that kind of stuff in high school. I was going, you know what I'm saying? I'm a weirdo. I was going to that type of stuff. So I was going to that and Parliament and war. I was going to everything. I was going to all the different music. And so when I went to school, if a white dude and a black dude be arguing about who was the best drummer, a drummer from a real good white band or a drummer from a black band, the way they used to always solve the argument, they would come get me because I would be the only one seeing both of them. Because the white dude only seen white people, the black dude only seen the black folks. I'm the only one seeing everybody. So when they want to know who's the best keyboard player, McCoy Tyner or Rick Wakeman, I would be the only one who would know because I've seen them both. That was in the 70s. I went to all the shows. So when I get to 78, 79, that's when I get introduced to reggae. And when I get introduced to reggae, that was the first time I got introduced to black conscious music. Although the foundational black Americans had civil rights music, right? But the Rastas had black conscious music, meaning they was talking about eating ital, eating right. They was talking about the news. So when you had that fool come over here and say they didn't help, no, the music was the news. The music wasn't nothing that necessarily helped. The music was CNN and the internet before we had the internet. You understand? So that's why I had to get him out of here because he's dumb. He don't really know nothing. He's slow. He thinking the music was to actually do something. No, the music has always just been the message to get the people to be aware. The music was never responsible for no type of change or nothing. The music was to go to the people, and then the people had to decide if they want to make change or not. And in many cases, the people didn't want to make change, and the people didn't want to listen to the positive music. You understand? And so reggae was limited. You limited, like me, it's only 50 people over here. So you limited by those that want to do right. You can't make them do right. So that's why the dude over here with all the Africans and stuff was talking crazy. That's why he'll never be no good leader or nothing, because he don't wait and listen and learn. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You cannot fix the black community with no music or nothing. What you can do is make those that want to learn aware, but you can't make the ones that don't want to learn aware with any kind of music. Because the people that want to be stupid, they going to go listen to stupid music. They not going to listen to nothing positive. Just like Vegan Intel. When I used to talk about veganism over here, I would have the least views because people just click on me for other views. And that's why my view, like, right, it's only 51. Now, if this title said Jay-Z had a dreadlock weave, took his dreadlock weave off, it'd be 300 people over here if I was gossiping. Because if I was going to talk about Jay-Z, I'd talk about how his dreads was fake and now he got an afro. And how girly that was. He going to the damn beauty shop. He had a damn dreadlock weave. I just went on ahead nice and put him in my list, but after today, he off my list. You know, I got toxic masculinity. Once I see that's a weave, I ain't really messing with Jay-Z no more. Yeah, Jay-Z's out of here. I got toxic masculinity. I ain't messing with Jay-Z no more. I just was nice and said, well, y'all didn't know, so I'm going to put him on the list. But y'all know now. Jay-Z is canceled with me. I don't want to hear nothing he rap about, bro. You got a weed. You have fake dreadlocks on your head, bro. What the hell? Okay, go have a seat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go look at the freestyle he did. He got a big afro like that. He had a weave. It was a big ass weave. You can't take that thing out like that and get his hair like it is. You can't take that thing off his hair like that. That thing was fake. That was like some fake chemicals or some kind of way to compress his hair like that. That wasn't even no real locks. You know what I'm saying? It was like fake, like fake. Like taking something like that and like just using it for, I don't know what the hell wrong with dude. Now he got that big ass afro out there. He just, I don't know. That's a bad look though. Like, bro, you wanted to imitate that painter and get it out of now. You know what I'm saying? I never really liked it because, you know, your wife is basically white. She done bleached her skin. She got to be wearing like straight white hair. It's like, they're a little weird. It's just weird. It's just, he ain't no stand-up dude. He phony. Well, I'm going to listen to you. You're going to the beauty shop. You know what I'm saying? You're going to the beauty shop. Okay, go sit down. I went on ahead and put him on the list since he was on there. I'm done with him. Yeah, I'm done. I'm like, bro, what the hell? Bro, you had a big old fake dreadlocks on your head? All that was fake, right? It looked fake too, the way it was all perfect and molded. It looked like somebody did it with a machine. That man went and got a machine, put that shit on top of his head. That's why it was all perfect and flat and like that. Bro, all right. Okay, go sit down. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Tell. Go look at his freestyle. I wasn't going to say nothing, but I was just going to let it go. But it fit what I'm saying. You can't, you know what I'm saying? know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. See? See his hair now? What the hell? What? Are you serious? I don't know what to tell you. He be in the beauty shop. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I'm telling you. He be in the beauty shop. It's like, bro, what's going on? Like, bro, you 60 something. What are you, 62? Damn. And so, we came up through when it comes to like knowledge, there really wasn't no knowledge. And the only knowledge in the black community in the late 70s and through the 80s was reggae. Black Americans wasn't doing knowledge no more. The Black Americans was headed in a direction with him with that weed. That's where that started. It started headed towards, the Eddie Murphy type of dressing, the Arsenio. The black man in the music started going that way. Prince, Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? It was like business-wise, yeah, he gonna troll, He trying to get back in the game. So he did what he's supposed to do with the disc, because if he don't do that, he ain't gonna get no media. You know what I'm saying? So if he don't do that, he ain't gonna get no media. You know what I'm saying? But that's been over. There hasn't been any black consciousness in black music. Like I said, Gil Scott, I told you I seen him and he was a junkie. Stevie Wonder wanted to dabble, but he was going to do it with Bob. Bob died. So that was it. There was no black consciousness in the music. So the black consciousness in the music came through the reggae. The reggae had the black consciousness. See the drawing, see all the pain, see they showing us in the prisons and being abused and the substance abuse. See? Consciousness, Black Uhuru. This is where the consciousness went. So this is where you get all the different black religions and stuff begin to get jealous because Rasta had the music and they didn't have that. And the music was powerful. So the powers that be, they didn't fight against Rasta. They went and fought against reggae. It came through reggae music, right? Because you seen KRS-One, he said Haile Selassie. He got that from reggae. KRS-One mentioned Haile Selassie because of Rasta and reggae. All them clothes and stuff, all them medallions and stuff, that came from Rasta. That came from me. That came from me. Everything that the that the black conscious reggae artists was doing came from us, came from Rastas. Why? Because New York is immigrants. And a lot of them New York, their relatives come from Jamaica and the islands. A lot of them, from Heavy D on through, they come from Jamaica. That's a fact. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of them old school rappers are Caribbean. Biggie Small is Jamaican. Mama's Jamaican. So they, in New York, they around a hell of a lot of Rastas was in New York. So that started leaking into the rap music. It leaked into the rap music. But the powers that be, right? The powers that be went and shut the reggae down and infiltrated the Jamaican culture and started pushing Shaba in them. Started pushing Maxi Priest and Shaba, right? And started to push the foo-foo music because they knew the power was through the music. They infiltrated that first before rap. They stopped it by infiltrating the reggae music. Black equal colonizer. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking. What's your name? Thanks God it's over. You don't know what you're talking about. You ain't got no knowledge. None. Because a word is not isolated to no particular meaning. A word only has a meaning based on how you use it. So you slow, you gotta go step your knowledge game up. You're slow. Because a word doesn't have a meaning. A word only has a meaning when you use it. That's a fact. So you slow, you got to get your science up. Words don't have no, word is just a sound. You have to put a meaning to it the way you use it. So you slow, you got to go back to the books. You're slow. When I say two, what did I say? Two. What that mean? What do two mean? I rest my case. Go study, bro. Two don't have a meaning until you use it. Give me two of those. I want to go two. I want to go to the store. That's too bad. It's three twos. It's TWO, TOO, and TO. They started coming later in New York in the 1960s after the Civil Rights Movement. I already know that. It was Black Americans predominantly before Black immigrants came. Okay. What that got to do with reggae? Reggae was in the 70s when they came. You just said something for nothing. And what was the point of that? It had no point. That's why I blocked you. You just said something that has no point, has nothing to do with what I'm saying. That got nothing to do with reggae in the 70s. And that's why I block you, because you just hard up, always try to compete. And you're so busy trying to compete with me, you're looking stupid. You're just making a statement that got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. You're so busy trying to compete. and you ain't no competition. Your name DJ Biggs. Go DJ. Go spin some records. This Big Pharaoh. Don't be DJ Biggs because you don't want to use your slave name. Listen, bro, what you just said is totally irrelevant to the conversation. Anybody with any sense know it wasn't no Jamaicans here in the 30s. Duh, bro. What that got to do with them being around reggae in the 70s and the 80s, bro? What that got to do with 1960? Wasn't no reggae in 1960. It was ska. This type of stuff. Look, just typing in, just want to have a competition with me, whether he on subject or not. Bro, why are you trying to compete with me? Why don't you go get you a channel? Because now you're looking silly. You're just trying to compete when there's, for what? Like, what's your point? Like, what? He said, look, they started coming later in New York City in 1960s. And reggae started what? In the 70s. So, you see, it's kind of foolish to say I do it. I was saying that Michaels was in New York with reggae. I didn't say no date. What date did I say? Because you're telling me date. What date did I say? What date did I say Migrants was in New York and they was Jamaicans and they was around reggae? And that's how the reggae got into hip hop. Am I right or am I wrong? Did the roster get into hip hop from Jamaicans in New York? Yes or no? Was I right? Was that right? Is that how knowledge from reggae got into hip hop from Caribbeans in New York? Am I right or am I wrong? It's kind of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And we all know Biggie Smalls Jamaican. We all know Heavy D Jamaican. We all know Slick Rick, people were from Jamaica and went to England in the 50s. So what is this guy talking about? See, this is a black man that loves to compete with his brother. Some of the worst type of people in the world. And all he wants to do is compete with me. He's not over here for nothing positive. He's not trying to build nothing or nothing. And then when the shorties get out there competing in the street and unaliving each other, he the first one to say that the shorties shouldn't be antagonizing each other, shouldn't be competing with each other. But he goes all out of his way to come onto my channel where I'm over here doing something righteous. And he bootleg ain't got no channel. And he wants to come into my live and he wants to try to upstage for no reason. And there's no competition for me on the internet, on the streets, in music, in nothing. Not no competition. Because if he was a competition, he'd do like me. I just want y'all to look and learn at the type of foolishness some black men got. And he can't DJ as good as me. I'll blow him off stage. He can't DJ, not like me. It's just foolishness. DJ Biggs, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace to our race. You're a black man that you can't do business with because when you come to the meeting to build a car, you'll be arguing. That's the kind of dude you is. Listen, I never hang with dudes like you. You're non-progressive. You were Willie Lynch. That's what you are. You're a disgrace to your race. DJ Biggs, you are a disgrace to your race. And yes, I'm gonna block you again. And I'll unblock you. And like a little B word, you'll come back. Okay? Because you got no backbone. Because if you block me, I wouldn't come back. How many times I blocked you and you keep crawling back on your knees? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell your B to come in. Tell your woman to come in here. Boy, listen. Get your goofy ass out of here. You see? So as I was saying, before I was interrupted for no reason, he wants to compete with me when he's not qualified. The music, due to reggae, segments of the reggae and the knowledge leaked into the hip hop, right? Even the collabs that they started to do together, even the way Rap City shows Supercat. Remember Supercat on the motorbike after he did a bank robbery? So they started to, coming out of the East Coast, they started to like merge the two together. Yeah, he's a disgrace to his race. Because I'm saying that because the black man, like that DJ Loser, he not gonna compete with no white person. He not gonna compete with no Asian. He not gonna try to have a get together with some brothers and make a car to compete with the Asians. He only people that he will ever troll and compete with is his own brothers. He will never compete with other people. That's the black man's downfall. I wasn't kidding when I say a disgrace to his race, a disgrace to his race. He's supposed to congratulate me. He's supposed to be like the brother over here trying to bring knowledge to his people. He over here trying to interfere and get in my way. And then in the county jail, in the joint outside, when we do him dirty and then it make the news, then y'all say we shouldn't have did him like that. But let me ask you something. If we in one of these county jails or one of these things, could he walk in while circle I'm talking and do that? Can he do that in the pen? Put a yes or no. When I was in the county jail, 26 in California, doing just what I'm doing right now, what he'd be too scared to do. Oh, God. I was doing this in the Cook County Jail with hardcore gang members. And you know what they would have did to him if he would have interrupted me while I'm taking their mind off of being in jail? Because they appreciate me because I'm like the radio, I'm like the TV. So I'm in there keeping brothers from fighting and arguing. And a brother like this, he the type that'll make a fight. Well, really, he would be sitting in the corner. He'll be a neutron. He wouldn't be no big foe like me. Because on the foe, he couldn't say nothing to me in his life. Because I'm different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I'm different. I'm just showing you the problem in our community. Now, the brother could have easily went and found information to help what I was saying. See what I'm saying? He could have said he right. Yep, Slip Rick and them kind, da. Because he know what I'm saying is right. But instead of him coming with information to help teach everybody, he come over here like a little girl. Bro, you gonna block me again? Bro, I ain't gonna be mad at him because a lot of brothers ain't been raised with no fathers, right? I was raised with a father. He probably wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really be mad at him. He probably had no male guidance like that. You know what I'm saying? But he shouldn't be interrupting somebody that's doing something he ain't gonna do. You know, if he ain't gonna go live and do what I'm doing, he shouldn't interrupt that. That's why I say a disgrace to his race. It's like a bunch of people sitting around and the sister say, I'm gonna cook some food. And she start cooking some food and now you jump up talking crazy. But you was quiet until the sister said she was gonna cook some food. You wasn't saying nothing. Now I'm over here cooking some food. And now he got something to say. But if I don't ain't over here cooking no food, he ain't gonna say nothing. He ain't gonna teach nobody nothing. He ain't gonna teach nobody nothing. And so that's why when I do my book tour, I gotta take Goonie Goons with me as high level security, because we're gonna have to throw people out on their face in order to keep law and order. We ain't gonna be able to let no dudes come to the book signing when I'm there talking. You're gonna make a terrible. I'm gonna tell a lot of you brothers now. When I go on this book tour and I come to your city and you come in there, you're gonna make a terrible mistake if you come in there out of order, interrupted. I'm just letting you know now, because we coming on that. Because I'll be outside. I'm coming. I know how y'all get out. I'm with it though. So I'm coming on my book tour on that type of time. I'm trying to make sure the positive people have a good time. I'm not gonna let you weirdos ruin their thing. My people gonna just snatch you up real quick and throw you outside. Real quick. And call the police on you. Because we ain't going to jail messing with no losers, and we don't want to bring no violence to the rest of the people, because brothers like that bring violence to the community. This is what the shorties be doing. The shorties be out here antagonizing each other. And this, I don't mind teaching this. This is a shorty, uneducated type of way of functioning. I done unblocked the man, you know what I'm saying? Instead of him coming and humbling and adding something, he coming with stupid shit. And then didn't even make no sense. He trying to tell me something I already know. They came and started coming in the 60s. Okay. No, they didn't. And they didn't come in the 60s. They came in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what he's talking about. They came in the 70s, bro. They didn't come till after the Civil Rights Movement. All the Caribbean people came up here in the 70s, 72, 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 80. That's when they came. And that's a fact. That's when they came. Real talk. Let's take a break and we'll finish. Kool Herc and them all was from the 70s. There's two Caribbean migrations, the 70s. The other one's the 50s to England. Facts. The first one was to England in the 50s. The second one was the 70s to the United States. These are historical facts. Oh, let's take a break. We're going to keep talking about this music, though. Hold on, that made me want to find some. Let me see. I'm gonna try to find some since we going in anyway. I might as well bring out some. I might as well bring out some real. might as well bring y'all some real. Let me see if I can find y'all something. Hold on. While we at it, huh? Greetings, one and all. Welcome to another episode of Roaring Lions. This is a very special episode. Hold on one second.
You know, all of the great ancestors that go forth to give our man this education to share. It's not for I man to have and to hold with him.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but for us young, because, you know, we were babies and you guys was our elders, you brothers was our elders. And from our perspective, we had two leaders. And you were our, like, now, I'm going to let you hear this, brethren, Tazadi Wadada. I think he's going to tell when he came to the country, all right? We're going off the path. Boom. But, you know, I go far for the people. So I think y'all, this is a perfect time for y'all to see this so you know I know what I'm talking about. Check it out. Greetings, one and all. Welcome to another episode of Roaring Lions. This is a very special episode. Hold on one second. I am very excited about this episode. I consider this man somewhat like an uncle to me. And I have been knowing him for many, many years. You've heard me tell stories about him. And this person has had a lot to do with me as far as me learning about Rastafari, and he is single-handedly responsible for introducing I to the Rastafari culture and the Rastafari way of life. So without any further ado, I am going to bring him in so we can have this great conversation. So let's do it. And it is my pleasure to introduce Rastaman Tazadi Wadada I.
Greetings and blessings, Brother Pharaoh. It's been a pleasure.
This is really...
In the name of the Most High, Gidamawi, Haile Selassie, Mo Ambassadors Yengedi Yahuda, Jah Rastafari. Yes, sir. Give thanks and praise for the opportunity. It's been a long years since our spirit joined and have uplifted each other. You give Iman such great accolades, but you also, my brethren, have always been a positive vibe. I have been following your studio shows all the time. Comment
Oh, wow.
and so forth.
Oh, I didn't know that. I should behave myself. Zadi, this is a big deal to me. You're like an uncle to me. You're one of my favorite people in the whole world. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're the man that single-handedly introduced me to Rastafari when I met you at a health food store and you gave me a flyer to see this group right here, Manyaka.
Manyaka.
That led me to have to find somewhere to buy the record. That led me to the Conquering Lion record store, and I met Chucky Isaiah.
True words.
I also met Josh Stone at the show, who put me in the band, and then his little brothers introduced me to His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, and that's all because of you.
Give thanks and praise, my Lord. Well, the energy is as such. I couldn't hide my candle under the bed, I had to put it on the mountain so that brothers can see it from the valley, from the depths of darkness, So reasoning with you has always been a pleasure. I love to speak of King Selassie. I love to speak of the culture. I love to speak of Pan-Africanists. I love to speak of Marcus and all of the great ancestors that go forth to give Iman this education to share. It's not for Iman to have and to hold with him.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but for us young, because we were babies and you guys was our elders, you brothers was our elders. And from our perspective, we had two leaders, and you were our Livity, Rasta Livity leader that had the knowledge and the positive wisdom. And Chucky Isaiah was like our social leader, where we could go to the Conquering Lion, we could meet the artists. So you two brothers was our two leaders at that time.
Give thanks.
And you were the head of all knowledge in Chicago concerning Rastafari. I don't know if you know that.
Well, no, I really never put myself in that position, but there were a few instances that the question arose, need someone to speak on Rastafari, and they pointed my direction. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So those situations was quite encouraging and a blessings to share what Jah have given I. It's not it's not an I, It's like he says, don't worry about the words, I will put the words in thy mouth.
Yes. Well, it wasn't just because of Rastafari, but at that time in America, dreadlocks was a new phenomenon.
Hey, Sila.
And yours was all the way down your back. So you was a superstar, right?
I don't know
when you got the short dreads and you see the long lion man there, you know how you act. You go, oh man, how long you been growing that? Oh man, and you ooh and you ah. So
true words, the ooh and the ah. Yeah. I still get it now,
Yeah.
I still get that, I still get that, I mean, and the most important thing I can say to anyone who's going, and I try to, let's go with this terminology. I do not like to use the word dreadlocks because that word dread, we are not a people to be feared. The word dread means to fear. And that was a word that was attached to us by the colonial powers, the Europeans, who when they first saw the Rastaman coming out of the hills with not, let's say, pretty locks like you and I, locks that are groomed, but Congo horn locks like Samson, seven big horns,
Right.
They feared and they attached the word dread to that man and called him the Black Heart Man, the dreadlocks Black Heart Man, which was a negative all the way around for I and I as Rastafari, But it was something that I would always say to anyone and to you now, and they ask, how long? I would say, it takes patience. It's all about patience.
That's what you said to me.
It's not 6 months. It's not 6 years. is patience, because it is the covenant of the Lord and the consecration upon thy head. Numbers 6 verse 5. In all the days of your vows that you have separated yourself or sanctify I and I to the Most High King Selassie Jah Rastafari, shall no razor or scissors come upon thy head in the fashion of shaving the temple or cutting the precepts. Number 6.
Yes, sir. This is very good for my audience because they think I don't listen to nobody. So it's good for them to see a teacher that I have to shut up and listen to. So now you all see I do listen, okay?
Yeah, no, yes, because you're a standing pillar in the community with you. The topics that you attract and the topics that you attack, try to change. There's a lot of them I listen to, and your topics are not boy but topics. Well, that terminology means idiot topics.
Right.
It's sound controversial. Sometimes, a lot of it people are misleading, but you are correcting the issue. Yes, my lord.
Yes. Well, the first time I saw you, that's what you told me. I said, how long until you said patience? And I said because Mayat was my girlfriend at that time.
Yeah, I remember.
We were young, and I said to her, he looks like Jesus. That's what I said. That's what Jesus used to look like. That's what I said. So, Zadi, where were you born, brethren?
Yes, I am a native of the Jamaica, and I grew up in the, I was born in the early 50s in Jamaica, and it was a colonial times, British rule. And so the education we got wasn't anything as we know now. I had to dig that out, search that about my blackness, because they don't tell you, they don't teach you. All you hear about is the great heroes of Captain Morgan and pirates and all of these murderers, British rules. And we thought they were great men until you really look beneath what they write in these history books and realize that, these are all murderers of our people who come, their ideology, the way they look at us, and so you recognize that. But yes, I am a native of Jamaica, and growing up in Jamaica, you couldn't say you are a Rastafari. That was a very negative. Your family would look on you with disdain, no, you can be, or disown you, take you out of, they don't even want to see you, because the concept of saying you want to know Rastafari, they think you're going to be homeless, naked, running around with no pants or trousers, nappy hair, digging out of the garbage. No history, no knowledge of what Rastafari is, except for seeing a homeless man because he had locks and point, that's a Rastaman. And it is not so. No, that's not so. Rastafari is universal. And so as I grew forward, coming out of that sheltered time in the 50s, 60s, and coming here, going to school, and I'm going to pull this on you. When I came here in 1968, brother, the west side was burning. The south side was burning. I came here in June of 1968. They had just assassinated Martin Luther King, and months before that, it was Malcolm X. And some months later, right down the street from where I live, it was the slaughter of Mayor Daley and his police force up on the Black Panther Party right there on Adams Street, just half a mile from where I lived, on the west side. So, coming here, I remember stepping on the back porch, lifting my head up and see Madison Street in fire. And I was dismayed because I said, I've never seen buildings burn before. The only fire I see in Jamaica is cane fields burning. You don't see houses burning. And I saw this and I was like, and I said to Mama, why are they burning the buildings? And she said, because they killed Martin Luther King. I never knew who the heck that was. Never heard of him. So growing up in the colonial powers, you don't get to hear about Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all of the, all of the civil rights leaders, or even, brothers, like Douglas and and all of the other brothers, Stephen Biko or and all of the others, Elijah Muhammad. You never hear those things. You hear what Europeans wanted. So when I came here, the education was, yes, Chicago was much more proud. Black people, they were more, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Yeah. Not today as we see it. It look like we have lost.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, we haven't lost, but the young generation is going the wrong direction, I think.
That's a great history you just told us, brethren. So at what age, what year was it when you started checking for Rastafari and growing out your locks?
Well, when I came here, I was practically finished with school, and so I attended one of the most how should I say? I don't want to say bad, but John Marshall High School. Whoa. You give it a title. That's where I graduated from.
Whoa!
And when I came, they analyzed my situation and put me in a senior class. All I had to take was gym and the U.S. Constitution because my education from Jamaica was far beyond what the U.S. education to the black people here was. I already had enough credits to graduate. All I needed was to go and do gym and the Constitution. But yes, at that time, coming out of that period, I decided to go to college, and I started to go to like Malcolm X College up on Wilson, not Malcolm X, but Truman and Malcolm X, and do little things around. By this time, you're hearing about Malcolm X, and I bought that book, the Prophet Elijah Muhammad's book, and I read the Black Man, and I read that and some of the other things and started digging. So the more I dig into the history of our black people, the more I recognize that, hey, this is where our history is. So starting to move around. I had one of the best afro. I used to wear the afros and the bell bottom because I thought that was the simulation I had to get into what was happening.
Right.
That simulation of, platform shoes and stuff. But then it was in 1975. You remember Naphtali?
Yes.
Yeah. I used to go over Naphtali's house to listen to him play music on his sound, Small Axe. At the time, I had my sound Black Sabbath, but Small Axe used to play songs that were so culturally. First time I heard Russ Michael was at Small Axe. First time I heard Burning Spear, Small Axe, because he was playing those things. I was getting records from the record stores, and they were sending me top 10 records.
Right.
So at that time, coming into that now, I find out, Naphtali said, "Hey, Zaddy, we're going up to the north side to see Bob Marley." And the only Bob Marley songs I had in my collection was "Simmer Down" and "It Hurts to Be Alone" and "One Love" at the time. And I said, yeah. So we got to the Bob Marley place, which was on Belmont and Sheffield, at what was known as the Quiet nightclub. It was a small, how should I say, blues dive bar type thing. It was no exotic place. Seated about 200 people, if that much. And we, myself and Naphtali, were one of the only Jamaicans in the crowd. But my curiosity said to me, I just didn't want to hear Bob Marley. First time I'm going to hear live music also. First time I'm going to see Bob Marley. I decided to wander in the back to see if I could see Bob Marley in person. And yes, I did. I ran across a dressing room where he was standing. And when I walked up to him in that room, he was in such a casual posture that when he saw me, he changed his posture into almost a militant posture. And I never forget the words he said to me, bro. He said, "Friend or foe?" And I raised my hand and I said, "Friend." He said, "Come on." And I went into that room and saw the rest of the Wailers sitting down in this little dinky, dressing room with all kind of graffiti all over the place. But yes, and I saw Bob Marley that night. I said to myself, man, I had to learn how to play live music.
Mm.
And then that's when I hooked up with Ras Shamari. You remember him?
Shamari?
Ras Shamari and Fred Locks and so forth. And we put together one of the first bands in Chicago known as Exodus. You remember that?
Yes.
Exodus reggae band. And from that point, I begin to, and after meeting Bob Marley, I begin to twist my little corners on my hair. And, it was quite a step because I was curious as to what family was going to say now, because now I'm going to, all that pretty fro is going to be gone and it's just going to be locks, so putting it in, it was a strong courage I had to have, because I didn't know what my brothers or sisters were considering the climate of what they consider Rastafari to be.
Mm.
So moving forward from 1975, 74, 75, 75, I think it was, in growing my locks, going forward, and I was always into my scriptural readings, and it solidified the reason why I want to wear locks was when I discovered in Numbers chapter.
So go and check out the playlist Roaring Lions. And there's a whole bunch of interviews like that with some of the older brethren. And I'm going to be doing some more. So contact me if you want to be interviewed, if you have some knowledge. Anybody with any type of dreadlocks, found FBA, Caribbean, African, so we can get your story on what it was like growing your locks, what age period it was, and all that. But I just wanted to show you that. You see, he got here in 1968. So they started to come in the country in the 70s. 68 is just a few months from the 70s, and that's when they start coming, because he's like one of the first ones. And then the big influx of Jamaicans came in the 70s, and then in the 80s, there a lot of people came. By the time you got to the 90s, people were starting to get deported, the ones that didn't behave themselves, that was getting in trouble. So people started to get deported. But I got a lot of interviews. That's short, because that interview is about an hour or something. So it's a very interesting. He talks about his trip to Ethiopia. He talks about a whole lot of Rasta history, right? And so that's, the person that I was around, but I was a young Egyptian. So I was a young Egyptian, but I had dreadlocks, but I didn't start growing my dreadlocks from Jamaicans. I started growing my dreadlocks as an Egyptian. I didn't know about Jamaicans and dreadlocks or Rasta. I didn't know none of that when I had my dreadlocks. When I met him, I had dreadlocks already. And so I started growing my dreadlocks as an ancient Egyptian concept. You know what I'm saying? But I got a lot of those, the interviews is off the chain, and I'm getting ready to kick them back up. I got some brothers lined up. But Roaring Lions, yeah, y'all should go watch Roaring Lions. It's some fire. It's some great, great interviews. Seriously. Some serious historical, some real knowledge, like for real, like historical stuff. So I just wanted to show that to show you when the time period was when they started coming to the country and the Africans. It was all towards the 70s, right? You might have had a few at the end of the 60s, but the majority was the 70s. Because when he was he was one of the few. See, I said he went to the reggae show. He was the only Jamaican there, right? Because they hadn't gotten here yet like that. They mostly came in the 70s. And then up Florida up to New York. So from Florida up to New York, and then that's how a lot of the black conscious transferred from the brothers and sisters from the Caribbean down to the brothers and sisters in the Black Power movement. You see, because the way we got united was in those days, we was outside, like people used to be outside. And so people used to throw a lot of black conscious events. See, the conscious community comes from conscious events. And so when these conscious events in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, everybody in the country that was conscious was an outcast. So if you was in the Nation of Islam, you was kind of like an outcast. You had the average regular American, then you had those of us that was like offshoots, which was Brothers from the Nation of Islam, Pan-Africans, Hebrew Israelites, Egyptians, the ones they used to wear the purple and white and say Alafia. Them, I forgot what they call now. So anybody that was in that type of mind state, we used to all be together because we was like offsets of the American culture. So it was somewhere you could go and feel normal. You know, if you was a sister in the Nation of Islam with your garb on and your hair, your hair covered, you're gonna go to Kwanzaa. You're gonna go to African Liberation Day. Everybody gonna go to that because now we're all normal. You see what I'm saying? So that's how all these different people and these different ideologies, this is how we united. And it was really heavy in Florida and in New York, because many of them, when they came into Florida, they just went straight up to New York because they would, once so many go, more come, because your family's up there, your auntie that moved up there. So now by them being up in New York, the rap and the reggae was blending. Because the same place where they going to get their Marcus Garvey shirt, Foundational Black Americans is going to get their Malcolm X shirt. All that stuff is sold at the same place. So that's why I made so much money, because I represented both sides of the cultural community. I had all of the red, gold, and green and African, Rasta and African, and I had all of the Foundational Black American. I had all of that. I had all the shirts for that too. I'm the one that had the Malcolm X shirts, Fred Hampton. So I had the red, black, and green, and the red, gold, and green, so that I could maximize my money, right? I make more money if I go to everything. I got to go to all the reggae stuff. I got to go to all of the black conscious stuff. I'm going all of it. So that's why I made a fortune. I was like the interface. Between all of that. And then that's how I learned knowledge etiquette. So when you be seeing me going off on brothers over here, they don't have the knowledge etiquette. There's an etiquette to knowledge. And when we at a park or a festival or whatever, Kwanzaa, whatever it may be, when a brother got the floor or the sister got the floor, they got the floor. You cannot go and start arguing with somebody that got the floor. This we never did. We never correct no one that has the floor. When they have an audience, it is improper to try to correct a person that has built an audience. That's not proper etiquette. Because what you're doing is you're creating confusion. You're intruding on everybody else that wants to hear what the person has to say. So the reggae music really was the strongest music to bring in consciousness in the music. And that influenced the conscious hip hop. Whether anybody want to admit it or not, it's the facts. Because the foundational Black American consciousness in the late 70s and the 80s was a sophistication of the knowledge from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s when you couldn't make silkscreen shirts and stuff. So now that you can silkscreen, now that you can make buttons, you're making Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington. You see what I'm saying? You're bringing the history back because now you got the tools to do it. So that became in the 80s, that became major business, Black cultural business. And it was international Black culture business, whoever, because the crowds were international. The crowds were international. I know some of the people that's caught up in the beef, you know, they don't want to hear that because they done got into the FBA beefing with people they call tethers, and they're not even really doing that correctly. You're not just a tether because you're an immigrant. You know, that's not being, you know, that's not a tether. A tether is connecting to you without wanting to deal with you for benefits, for financial benefits and social benefits, and using your skin color to get somewhere, but don't deal with you. That's what that is. That's not just when you meet a person from somewhere, they're not just a tether. That's not what that is. That's being like that's not taught correctly. That really became a big thing when Hollywood started hiring actors from England, Black actors, to do movies because they could pay them less. And Black actors and actresses started losing money because they would bring in Black immigrants and pay them less. That's what started the beef. quiet as it's kept when them paychecks start going down. And that's when people start looking to see, well, how you going to play a foundational Black American slave? You from England or you from Africa? So that's when they said, man, we don't want you playing Harriet Tubman because you're going to play Harriet Tubman for less, and you backdooring our actors and actresses, and you giving the European Americans a way to cheat us. Now, we worked hard to get a certain pay over here. So if you're a Black immigrant and you come over here and you want to do it for less, you undercutting us. And that's a tether. You want to come in and talk Black and look Black and be a politician, but then you don't want to do nothing for the community because in your heart, you're not us. So you just pretend you us to get your position, but then when you get your position, you make it clear you're not us. That's a tether. And they are seriously a problem now. It's a serious problem. A real serious problem. Emulate you, but undercut you. So when you get up to the New York area, that's how everything got blended together. Because you had all the Black culture in New York, the foundational Black American culture, the African culture, and the Caribbean culture. It's the 80s. We really hungry for knowledge, so we grabbing everything. Because from the mind state of a young foundational Black American, we just know we all are going to be united. But then it turned out they didn't really want to unite with us. And so that was heartbreaking. That's why so many foundational Black Americans are unhappy and don't like Blacks from the Caribbean because they snaked us and they didn't come over and unite with us. But that's how that got into the music through that international connection. So like when you're a rapper and you got to write lyrics, you're going to pull them from everywhere. So once you start getting this international connection, it's going to leak into the hip hop music. Because the hip hop music was the biggest at a certain time. It was the biggest thing. They fought to keep it on the underground, but it was huge. Like the brother just shared the story when he seen Bob Marley, or by the time Bob Marley passed away, reggae was bigger than life. But they was fighting to hide it. So it was big, but they made sure the people didn't necessarily know it, but the people was finding out. So they went and they tried to destroy it and they tried to water it down. So they brought the same Jamaicans the brother was talking about that didn't like people with dreads. They started bringing them in. And they wasn't just hating on foundational Black Americans, they was hating on Rasta too. And then they came in with the slackness and the bald head music to undercut the culture. Because we didn't have a cultural music genre. And a lot of FBA ain't gonna like me saying that. When we used to have festival stuff in the 80s, Black Americans, we didn't have music that fit that as good as reggae did. So every time there's a festival, it's reggae and it's the African drummers and girls dancing. That was the blackest stuff we had. At that time, Black people was Freddie Jackson and Luther Vandross. The music that got soft in the 80s. So foundational Black Americans didn't have any music to represent Black festivals and stuff by then. We didn't have that anymore. All that ain't no stopping us. All that was years before that. We got to keep on pushing. All that was 60s, early 70s. All that was gone by the 80s. And foundational Black American music was being infiltrated and turned LGBTQ. So our music had got weak. Our music had got weak when a bunch of feminine men took over our music and our movies, the Eddie Murphys, Paul Mooney's, the Arsenio's. You know what you're looking at. You just pretend you didn't know what you was looking at. You knew what they represented. The Johnny Gills. Some of them then came on out the closet now. I was talking to somebody, they ran into Johnny Gill. They said he don't even care no more. But back then, nobody didn't know. Nobody paid attention. Why you living with Eddie Murphy? You know, nobody wasn't hip. I ain't saying they nothing. I'm just saying I can't say they ain't. I can't say they are, but I sure can't say they ain't. So they rushed to water down the reggae. The Black consciousness in the reggae was seeping into the rap. So then they ran and watered that down too. They watered down the reggae with the same way they watered down the rap. They shut the rap totally down. Totally. And wiped out any type of consciousness. They wiped it out of rap. Still today. They wiped it clean out. Because it was getting to be the biggest form. They said, no, we can't, It was so big that people that really wasn't even Black consciousness was doing it because that's where the money was at. So all of them that was faking it, when the system tried to wash the hip hop back down, they was cool with it anyway because they was faking that they was pro-Black anyway. They was faking the whole time. So they was more than happy to water it right back down.